What's up, guys? Join me in another travel adventure. This time we're traveling from the Crookon town on the Akwapim Mountainous and use one of the steepest main roads you can find in Ghana down to Accra and to Tema. Join me. Let's make this trip. Subscribe and don't you forget to share and like. So we started our journey right from Akwapim, Larteh. We drove from Mamfe, Akwapim in the eastern region. So this is the eastern region of Ghana. As we drove on, we made our way through the main Crookon Larteh route, which was under construction, no, under rehabilitation, because the road was already there. It was under rehabilitation. So where you see now is Akwapim Larteh. So we drove through, and as we drove through, you could see that the whole area is green and fresh. And in fact, the weather up here is just amazing. You just love the weather, so serene and so cool. And you could see there are a lot of houses being built here because of the nature of the area. It's quite cool here. The weather is quite cool. And it's very serene up here as well. From here to Tema that we are driving to will take us about an hour to get to Tema due to the rehabilitation that they are doing on the road. And you can see when they complete the road, I think it will be lesser to get to drive from the Akwapim area, that is Larteh to be precise, or the Crookon Larteh junction to be precise, to the Greater Accra region, that is Tema, as a matter of fact. So we're still on our way, and you could see how the area has changed as well, because you can see now they have expanded the road. So green. And I was told there is a university being built around that area. So I think when that university is also complete, it's going to make the area much bustling as well. So you can see different houses built along the road. So this is the road that leads you to the Larteh township. So gradually we got to the Benkum Senior High School, which is one of the secondary schools that is located in the Akwapim area. But this one is located in the Larteh area. So from all this area going is Larteh, and this is the Benkum Senior High School. Our time we call it the Benkum Secondary School, but it's now called Benkum Senior High School. Very huge school. And as you can see, people love living on top of the mountain. So you can see lots of mansions, beautiful buildings all over the mountains as well. Wow, you can see another one in there. But what I love most about the trip was the way we drove through the green and all that. So as you can see, the road is under rehabilitation and expansion, I think all the way through to Ayukuma. So we saw trucks and other vehicles plying the road. And it was smooth, even though the rehabilitation project is not done yet. It was very smooth driving on it. Look at how nice they are rehabilitating the road. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So these are some of the equipment that they are using to rehabilitate the road. Wow. And what I felt very happy about was how they have expanded the road at the side of the mountain. It used to be narrower, but now they've expanded the road. It's going to make it much easier and fun to drive through the Larteh Akwapim area. So as you can see, they have expanded the road. So if you live in this area, you're from this area, the road is now expanded. I think they are doing something similar to what they have done at the Edukrom Association route. they've also expanded that one. I think the people of Ghana are trying and doing their best to ensure that mountainous areas, travel to mountainous areas is quite easy in order to boost tourism, travel, and investment. So you can see the road is basically being expanded. And I like the way they've cut part of the mountain to expand the road. So if you know this road very well, this is where that curve is before you turn to that restaurant in the bush called the Bush Restaurant. So there's a restaurant down there in the bush, it's a wild restaurant called the Bush Restaurant, where they serve typical organic food from the bush. So you can see how green the area is. So we are still driving down, we are still within the eastern region. As soon as we descend the mountain, we're going to get down to the Greater Accra region. These are two closest regions sharing boundary with each other. So look at how the road has been expanded. If at the point we didn't even feel we were climbing a mountain. Formally, if you have to climb this, you would need to gear up to climb this. But the way they've done the road, I mean, it was just super. It was very easy for us to connect to the Larteh township. So as you can see, we are approaching the main Larteh township, which is one of the oldest towns in Ghana here. A very popular town on the Akwapim mountains, or the Akwapim range of mountains. So you can see a chapel out there. And one thing I like about the mountains is the colonial type of chapels that you see there, because a lot of these Europeans that settled in Ghana, some of them also settled on top of the mountain because of the good weather and all that. And we're told mosquitoes were also less on top of those mountains as well. So we are within the Larteh proper, the ancient Larteh proper town itself existed for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. I think the rehabilitation will also cover this area, as some of the workers told us. So they're going to rehabilitate all this part as part of the rehabilitation of the roads in that area. It was a sight to see how the road has been rehabilitated, very easy. It took us very short time to just climb the mountain. So I think if they complete the road, it's going to be easier to cross. That's another chapel. I love this type of chapel. So beautiful. So beautiful. I think this one belongs to, is it a Roman Catholic or so, I'm sure. So we drove down through to the other part of Larteh. So Larteh itself is somewhat of a large town. So now we are driving towards an area called the Tamara area. There used to be a popular hotel called Tamara, owned by one popular woman from this very beautiful town called Tamara. So we're heading towards the Tamara area. And look at the greenery. When I was a kid, traveling along these routes was a bit fun and a bit of something else, because the mountain is a bit high. So sometimes if you're not used to heights, you wouldn't. I think I remember my first time I have to close my eyes. So we are getting close to the Tamara area. So that's the Tamara Hotel. It's been there for so many years. And if you are within the hotel, you can see the Accra plains. You can see Accra and Tema from that hotel. So this is where I'm talking about, where I used to be scared of when I was a kid traveling here to the Greater Accra and of course to Tema. It's a bit steep and you can see the Accra plains from on top of these mountains. So this is Ghana and this is the Akwapim Larteh mountain. Traveling through, taking you to an adventure of the forests and the mountainous side of Ghana through to the coastal side of Ghana. There's this sharp curve here that I was always not comfortable with, but this time around, because I think maturity have come in, I was okay. That's the sharp curve. Anytime we got here, I have to close my eyes. But this time around, I think maturity came in, so I didn't close my eye. But it's interesting driving along this road as the scenery is so beautiful. So just down there, or from what you are seeing down there, is the Greater Accra region. So Accra region, which comprises of two major cities, Accra, Tema, and then other areas like Pram and the Winya, and many other towns or conurbations. So we are descending the hill now, and as you can see, It was so smooth descending the hill. Wow. Formerly, I wouldn't even watch. Look at how easy it was for me getting down. Actually, I wasn't the one driving anyway. I was a passenger. I've always been a passenger. I've not driven along this place before. But it's one of the places that people also normally drive to on weekend. People normally drive up this hill on weekends just to relax and have some time. So we're gradually entering the greater. So now we're in the greater Accra region, Ayukuma to be precise. The crossroad that we just crossed takes you into the city of Accra. But people have built all over, all the way from Accra to this area. So people even live here and then travel from here to work as well in Accra. So as you can see, we journeyed our way through Ayukuma, and from Ayukuma, the next town you get to is called Doyumu, and then from Doyumu you join the Tema Akosombo Road. But you could see a lot of people are settling around this area. I think mainly due to the fact that the lands in the city of Accra has been occupied, so a lot of people are building here, and also it's quite cheaper here. And if not for traffic, it's going to take you some few minutes to reach a suburb in Accra like Adenta. And then maybe an hour and a half to reach the center of Accra, but traffic congestion is a bit an issue. But I realized they were constructing a road through Dodowa, so when that road is done, I think you can live here and then drive through. But yet, it's not as comfortable as living on top of a mountain and other cities across Ghana where traffic congestion is very less. So we finally made it to the main Tema Akosombo, the Doyumu Junction. So we made it to the main Tema Akosombo Junction, and that is the Shire Hills Forest Reserve. Is a tourist attraction. So we are now on the main Tema Akosombo Road. And you will see, because Tema is also an industrial and a port city, whilst you drive along to the city, you see a lot of installations across the road. Parts of the area have also been turned into real estate, but these areas are not, the Tema city proper. Because they are close to the city, people have built around all this area. I think there's even a light industrial area along that area. So that's the journey that we made from the Larteh Akwapim mountains, descending down through to the coastal town of Tema. And as you can see, it was a Friday and it was a holiday as well. So you could see lots of cars driving to spend the holiday and the weekends as well. Wow, so we're heading towards Tema. So now we are in the greater Accra region. But if I could have turned my camera, you still see the mountains from where we are. So we are on our journey. We are gradually approaching the harbor town of Tema. So this area we are now is called Afienya, which is one of the communities that have also developed and has become also a residential neighborhood as well. And finally, we got to an area called Mateko, which is also a conurbation. We decided to stop by and then check on 102, and then we continued our journey into the city of Tema. So now we are heading towards an area called Afariwa area. But hopefully this area has been plagued with lots of traffic. So we spent some time in traffic. Okay, so you can see lots of vehicular traffic on the way. But the area has also developed that fast, because some years back you wouldn't see lots of vehicles and lots of people here like that. I think for the past 10-15 years it has seen a huge. While we are about to approach the Tulak area, we realize that there's a new China mall that has been opened along the way to the EU Chinatown. They are opening branches all over Ghana, I think in other cities as well. In my own city, they are also, building one there as well. So we finally head towards the Tema city. So we are entering the city of Tema proper. And look at the traffic. Look at the traffic. Look at the traffic. Hitherto, it wasn't like this. Now, there's a lot of traffic in this city. A flyover has been constructed, though, but just after the flyover, you will have to go and meet. So this is the Tema motorway runabout, which has now been converted into a flyover. Overall, the journey was so smooth and so peaceful. Well, viewers, thank you very much for joining me on my trip right down from the Akwapim Mountains through Larteh, through the winding Mountainous road, through Yukuma, all the way to Tema. Hit the subscribe button and subscribe. Don't forget to comment.